Hey, what is that? Diamond stash. Oh, okay. Lol. Hey, another one. Secrets of the universe. Alright. Lol, 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 lol. Okay. The Fountain of Knowledge. Oh, that sounds good. Lel. You know, I think someone's playing a joke on me. The literal underworld. No, really. Okay, I'll bite. What is this? This is the underworld. They weren't kidding. Welcome everybody to episode 65 of Minecraft The Journey. It's me, bugmancx, and I'm out here at our new beta area where I've been developing things a little bit. In the last episode, we built this dock which is behind me. In fact, I extended it out this way just a little bit, just to give it a bit more width, and I think that it is looking good. I've added a few details as well, and I'll continue to add a few more details as I go, as I figure out what looks good. I have to obviously use Minecraft beta era blocks in order to do the decorations and give it life, so that's a bit more of a challenge. You might see over the lake here that I've also done some extra work over in this area, and I'm about to go and show you what's been going on, but in between episodes I have just been keeping busy, doing some digging and doing a bit of building. I've also got this boat channel now so that I can get across the lake very quickly if I want to, just by taking a boat. I've broken many boats in the process because, as you probably know, boats in Minecraft, at least until they fix them in years to come, they're awful. But they exist and so we use them. Yes, this area has expanded quite a bit. We flattened this out recently, of course, and since then I've been digging out this area a little bit and making it a bit more accessible so you can walk around the pond a little bit better and things like that. And we've started to develop this area over here. Let's go with this first. What is this? Well, I hope it looks a bit like a diving board. I did my best with alpha and beta blocks, like I said. You must be this tall to use the diving board. Well, let's have a look. Yep, I'm just above that height, so that's perfect. I can use the diving board. So yeah, you can pop out here and do your amazing Olympic style dives. Now you might remember that over here was a humongous mountain. It was just there and all the way over there. And I have just spent hours cutting this back and shaving it back. You can see that this is all still stone. I need to come and tidy this up and make it blend a little bit better. But this area looks vastly different to what it did before. I wanted to keep this area nice and open so that everything would feel open and be quite accessible. So here I have also built a lookout, I suppose. It's supported by some big logs and it's got some planks. Let's go up and have a look. If you take the staircase up, out here, it's a nice deck, and it's in a really good location because you can come here and this is where the sun will set, so you can watch the sunset just kind of over the lake, or at least over that little connecting beach sandbar thing. So I'm quite pleased with that. And behind me, we'll develop this area more, give it a bit more life, put some buildings here of different sorts and things like that. And over in this direction here is where we will be developing some residential builds, maybe some little houses and other bits and pieces like that. Over this side is where we'll have some more commercial style things, like what you'd expect to find in a dockland. So maybe there are some unloading stations and some warehouse style things on the edge of the lake here. Something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just taking the inspiration as it comes. So we are almost ready to upgrade to Minecraft Beta 1.2, which is going to be a massive step forward for us. But before we do, there's one little bug in this version that I wanted to try and experiment with before we finished our upgrade process, and that is to do with chests. Now apparently in Beta 1.1_01, there is a bug where if your player has an empty hand, just as we do here, nothing in my inventory slot, you can't open chests. But I can open chests. So I'm really not sure exactly what's going on here. I don't know, maybe your entire inventory has to be clear. I'm not sure, but I haven't experienced this bug, so I thought that it was a bit of a weird one. I can still open the chest, so maybe it was under some specific circumstances, I'm not really sure. Minecraft Beta 1.1_02 was released to fix this bug, but since we can't even replicate it here, we might as well skip that version and go straight to Minecraft Beta 1.2. Minecraft Beta 1.2, wow, will you look at that? This is a significant upgrade for us here on Minecraft The Journey. This is also the first version of Minecraft Beta to be released in 2011. It was released on January the 13th, 2011. And this is a big update. It contains a new mob, it contains new blocks, it contains all sorts of new features that we are yet to explore. In fact, these trees look awfully different if you ask me. Let's go and have a closer look at what's going on. I don't even know where to begin with all of these new features. I'm going to have to pour through the list and work out what we can have a look at first because, yeah, there is just so much to get through. Okay, trees, what's up with you? Your leaves are all different. This one's bright green, this one's pale green, and the ones on the top are really, really small. We better do a bit of world exploration and figure out what's going on with these trees. I'm out here in some brand new chunks, and as you can see, the trees look perfectly normal. And as you saw from that little walkthrough, it took a little while before we finally reached some normal looking trees, and a lot of the trees around the area where the land has already been pre-generated are all mixed up with their muddled up leaves. And the reason for that is right behind me. Minecraft has added a new tree type. This is the birch tree. And I think what's happened is that all of the existing trees that already existed before we generated new chunks all got a variant of the mixed up leaves. There is actually another tree type. The spruce tree was also added, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. But it looks like all of the old trees are a mixture of spruce, birch, and oak leaves. So I guess all of those trees are going to be like that forever now. But this is the new birch tree. Look at it. It's got a birchy wooden trunk. I want to chop this down and have a look. That's interesting. The inside of the birch texture is the same as the oak log, or I should say the wood log, because at this stage of the game it doesn't actually have its own texture. So here it's just known as wood. So I guess at the moment all of the trees are the same. They all just look different with a different texture. And look at this, the saplings that come off of this tree are also just saplings, and I bet you if you plant them, you won't get a birch tree, you'll just get a regular oak tree like this one here. Interesting. So one of the other interesting features about the addition of these new trees is that there were also two new biomes added, one for the birch tree and one for the spruce tree. I can see off in the distance here behind this mountain there is the new taiga, and the taiga biome contains just spruce trees. In fact, if we go through here we'll be able to see it. This is a spoiler. You can see here that biome there produces just spruce trees, so we're going to go and check that out, and we're also going to try and find a birch forest, which is the other biome. I'm down here checking out the taiga biome, and it's full of spruce trees, and this is a very large one with a tundra as well. And I think what's happened here with the taiga biome is that it's exactly the same biome as the other taiga biome that we've seen before. It's just that the previous taiga biomes all generated with those oak trees because they were the only tree in the game. And the biome has now been changed so that when it generates now, it generates with spruce trees. So the other taiga biome that we have, which is way off in that direction somewhere, is actually quite special. The other thing about the spruce trees that I'm noticing is that they're very, very tall. In these cases, it looks like a match, and I want to chop it down as well and see if it's exactly the same as the oak tree. No, it looks like, looks to me like that texture is different. And if we have a look at it, it is still just wood, and it just generates wooden planks, and so does the birch, yeah. So really there's nothing special about it at all. I also want to chop down this entire tree now. How am I going to do that? I guess I'm going to have to tower up using the tree trunk itself, because I want these leaves to break apart just like normal trees do, and to see if we just get regular saplings just like the other trees. So they should now start to decay, and we should get some saplings dropping on the ground, which we can have a look at. There's one up there and I can already see it. It's just a regular sapling. So no special saplings at the moment, which means that any birch tree or any spruce tree that's generated in the world is a one-time thing. You can't plant any new ones. So we need to preserve this area. Look, it's getting to be nighttime, and I'm going to get murdered out here if I don't find shelter. So I'm going to do that. And then we'll work out what to have a look at next. I've been on the hunt for a birch forest. Now, to me, a birch forest should be a forest full of birch trees. This looks like a mixture of birch trees and oak trees, and I know that birch trees will spawn naturally within regular forests next to the oak tree. So I'm not sure that this one is one. I'm going to keep on looking. But look at what I did find just over here. It's a lava pool. Back in Alpha 1.2.6, these were added to the game. I didn't go out looking for one because I didn't want to generate all of these new chunks unnecessarily just for the sake of finding a lava pool. I knew we'd find one eventually, and sure enough, here it is. I've just encountered the most bizarre thing. Sometimes you get random X-ray in this game when things don't render in properly, but this seems to be very stable. I can see right through the world. I can see all that lava down there and the whole cave network. This is pretty incredible. Okay, let's break it. This is really strange. Let's dig down a bit, and so it seems to be just those blocks. The further I dig, these blocks seem to be unaffected. This is bizarre. I expected it all to update. Look at that. If I replace the snow layers, I get the effect even more. What is interesting about this is it seems to be very, very stable. If I break this block, I'm able to go inside and I'm still able to see. But if I break these blocks, then it doesn't work. The effect is gone. But I can put blocks back and the effect remains. It's strange. So if I dig myself up like this, how can I get in here? There's a block above me. All right, I should be able to get myself inside this mountain somehow. I've been trying to clear some space out so that I can be inside of a room, basically, like clearing blocks that appear in front of me like this. And I've managed to clear out quite a space, and I can now move around quite a lot. I've got quite a nice view of the mobs over there that are harassing me. They're unaware that I'm in here, and I could probably go all the way up to the edge and look directly at that creeper, and it'd have no idea I was there. Although I think they can see through walls in these early versions, so you know, who knows. But this was definitely one of the more strange experiences of Minecraft that I've had so far, and I've actually really enjoyed being inside of this very bizarre mountain. I've also been very reluctant to restart my game or to disconnect and reconnect because I'm fairly certain that as soon as I do, I'm going to lose this effect, which would be a real shame. So I might just dig myself forward. Aha, okay. So it's very limited. It's only within this particular space. So I need to put that back so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I can't dig any further this way without stopping the effect, but I still can dig in this direction, which is pretty outrageous. It'd be amazing to live in here if I could, but as I said, I don't think the effect will last. Let's test this out. Let's try it. And we've lost the effect. What a shame. What an absolute shame. It was bound to happen. This is where I've been living, and now it feels a lot more closed in. Have a look at this humongous chunk boundary. I think I've come back to InfDev terrain, which was very, very mountainous. And if you remember, right at the beginning of this series, or at least when we settled in this world, the tree generation was all pretty much big trees. But what I am noticing here, which is very interesting, is that all of these have the standard oak leaf style leaf. So if I'm in previously generated chunks... Yeah, if I'm in previously generated chunks, how come these trees haven't reverted to that same style as the ones over in my area? I'm very curious about this. I'm going to see if I can find my way back to spawn. In fact, yeah, look how close I am. 138 minus 300. I'm going to make my way back to spawn and then head home. It feels so strange being out here, especially with these trees the way they are. So weird looking. Spawn is always looking different, even though we aren't making any changes out here and just letting nature take its course. But I'm glad to be back in familiar territory. I need some food. I'm probably just going to have to eat from my wheat farm here because I have definitely run out of food on all of my adventures out there. But I'm glad to be back in familiar territory, and I'm going to make my way home now. Heading back, and I thought I would do a quick spot check on the hedges at the art gallery and see how they've changed with all of the leaves having randomized within the game. So let's pop in and have a look. They look like... Oh no! My hedges! My beautiful hedges! I should have anticipated this. Oh... Yeah, all that work. You know, I think I understand what's happening with this leaf decay now. Now that the game has randomized the leaves on each of the trees that have already been generated, it's also done that with these leaves here. These are spruce leaves, and now that has caused them to have block updates, and because the leaf decay now decays leaf blocks that are adjacent to the ground but not attached to a tree trunk or something like that, they're just gone. That's a real shame because... No! No! My impossible tree. Oh no! Beta 1.2, you're not good for us. You know, I wonder if we can use the same repair trick as last time. If we go back into fast graphics, they're solid blocks once again, so... Oh, thank goodness for that. Repairing the impossible tree seems to be something I am doing a lot of. And now for the true test. Whew. Well, if I can't have my hedges, at least I can have my impossible tree. What's going on here? It's the middle of the night, and this is as bright as anything. I think, well, I mean, must be a lighting glitch. Let's see what happens if we dig it. Oh, the entire block stayed. What? What? I don't understand. I've done a bit of experimentation here, and it looks like I'm seeing the same issue from the cliffside that we saw earlier, but from the other way round. Rather than seeing it from inside of the blocks, I'm seeing what it would look like from outside of the blocks. For example, these are snow layers. If I shovel one, I get a snowball, but the snow layer is still there. And in fact, if I shovel the block underneath, I can clear those blocks. I can even get in here. Let's take out the block underneath me. Have a look at that. Those are the blocks that I cleared, and yet from this perspective, they're still there. I just love experimenting with glitches like this. Look, I've made a kind of window into the world here, and another little tiny one down here. But up here I've made a sort of secret entrance. Now, obviously this only works client-side, but it is fun either way. It's marked out by this mysterious flame that doesn't seem to be attached to anything. And when we go through it, we can walk inside of the mountain. And here we are in another mountain where we can see the inside of the world. And I think that this is just a fantastic way of seeing the underside of Minecraft, the side of Minecraft that you're not supposed to see. But look down there above my mouse cursor. It's also an interesting way of maybe finding some dungeons or something like that, because I think while we have access to this glitch, you know, we might as well use it to our advantage a little bit, right? I'm not sure when it will get patched, but I'm sure that it will. And I want to find some records in some of these dungeon chests. Those were added back in alpha, but I haven't been able to find any in any of my adventuring so far. So we'll use it while we have it, but it has been a fun and interesting glitch to explore. I've had a lot of fun today exploring some of the new features in Minecraft Beta 1.2, and I hope you have as well, especially exploring those peculiar bugs. But before I go, I want to have a look at the logs and the leaves in a little bit more detail, just to see if we can understand what's going on with them. But before I do, this channel is nearly at 1,000 subscribers, so if you've already subscribed, then thank you so much. And if you haven't and you're enjoying yourself, then hit that subscribe button so that we can all enjoy this content together and have a good time exploring the history of Minecraft. Now, before I go, I want to have a look at these blocks here and the wooden blocks that have been added to the game. First, we need to understand how every block and item is stored within the game. Every block or item is stored with a unique ID number so that the game knows which block or item it is. For example, stone is block ID 1, cobblestone is block ID 4, netherrack is block ID 87, I think you get the idea. So wood is block ID 17, but every block of wood in the game is exactly the same except for one particular difference. For example, spruce wood here is still wood with a block ID of 17, but it's got a damage value applied, damage value of 1. With spruce here, it's still wood with an ID of 17, but it's got a damage value of 2. So that means that all of these blocks of wood are exactly the same except for the damage value, and that's how the game knows which texture to display. And that's why the properties of the wood is all the same at the moment. For example, every wood type produces wooden planks, which is ID 5. And of course, every leaf block is producing saplings, which is ID 6, and that's because the leaf blocks are using exactly the same technique. They are basically block ID 18 with a different damage value, and the different damage value tells the game which leaf block texture to display. And so all of the trees that already existed are now made up of leaves with different damage values, I suspect. It looks like in this tree you can see a combination of either the oak and the birch leaves because the texture is identical, but there's different tinting here going on depending on how the game has calculated the biome, I suppose. I don't know, but there's at least 3 distinct tints here. This one, and that one for sure. Up the top you can also see the spruce leaf, and I have noticed that on most of the trees around here, the top section of these trees is made up of that spruce leaf. So there must be something going on with the way that the game has specified which leaf type should be which. I really don't know. And why has it affected only the leaves? Why isn't there random variation in the logs as well? But I really don't know why it was done like this. Notch could have just left all of the existing trees alone and worried about the new trees whenever we generated new chunks. This just makes the world look very strange, and I don't really understand it. But thank you for watching this episode of Minecraft The Journey. I'll see you in the next one. This has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye bye.